Let me ask you a question. What are the two most scaring words, or maybe three words that you can say to a man and, it just brings his life to a standstill? Can you think about that? That those three words or those two words, I'm pregnant. And many a man has been, run out of their breath by those words being uttered to them, especially if they were not in a mood or in the plan of expecting a baby and so on. But in the podcast today, I want to start something new. I want to start a new series that is going to be absolutely powerful. And I am titling this that the greatest weapons that God has to change the universe are children. And you want to stay tuned to this one because it's going to be absolutely interesting.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
These guys are everywhere you look, every place you turn. In fact, the most sinister environment that you can ever be in, it will be an environment or a society where there are no children. But what we do with life is that we relegate these guys to the periphery of life to such an extent that we even tell them that they are the leaders of tomorrow. And the things that are going on in our lives at the moment, we're just discovering who our heroes are. And we are upping the heroes of the day, and we're talking about the heroes of the day, and the children are just, at the periphery. But all along, these kids are just assimilating whatever it is that is in their environment. And so, one great attribute about God is that He is able to see the dispensations of days, months, decades, centuries, and even millennia. He's able to see all these things beforehand and before they happen. And He goes behind the scenes. This is very interesting. He goes behind the scenes to carefully, benignly set the ball rolling for a particular season of time, for a particular state of things to happen. He sets the ball rolling, and at times you might be thinking that things are just happening for the sake of happening. There is always an invisible hand of God in every single minute thing that you see. That's why every baby you see, I tell you, every human being you see, I think has been orchestrated to be alive by the hand of the living God. And it is not by fluke. It is not just by that particular moment. I think that person who is existing, or that baby who is being born, has been set in motion even beforehand. Years, maybe I could even say centuries beforehand. That their appearance on the face of the earth is well orchestrated, well planned, well set aside for that moment. But the problem is that babies are born on a daily basis to such an extent that we think, it's just a baby. It's the second born. It's the third born. It's her first born. It's her first pregnancy. And by the way, we go to extents. Where we start thinking about getting rid of the baby even before they are born. And all along their lives are being shaped been planned, been designed by the invisible hand of the Almighty God. It's more than 300 years today as the world remembers the Battle of Waterloo. Those of you guys who did history, you remember about Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France. He was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. And I came across a powerful illustration from one of my devotions that I'm going to read for you here. And let me just start by quoting. It says that in the early days of the 19th century, men were following with bated breath the march of Napoleon and waiting with feverish impatience for the latest news of the wars. And all the while, in their own homes, babies were being born. Just think of some of these babies. In 1 year, lying between Trafalgar and Waterloo, there stole into the world a host of well-known men. During that year, in 1809, Mr. Gladstone was born at Liverpool. Alfred Tennyson drew his first breath at the Somerby Rectory, and Oliver Wendell Holmes made his initial appearance in Massachusetts. On the very first same day of that self-same year, Abraham Lincoln made his debut at Old Kentucky. Music was enriched by the advent of Frederick Chopin at Warsaw and Felix Mendelssohn at Hamburg. But nobody thought of babies. Everybody was thinking of battles. Yet, viewing that age in the truer perspective which the years enable us to command, we may well ask ourselves which of the battles of 1809 mattered more than the babies of 1809. When a wrong wants righting or work wants doing, this is the thing, by the way, or truth wants preaching, or a continent wants opening, God sends a baby into the world to do it. End of quote. Think about that for a minute. And think about you for a minute. And then think about your babies for a minute. As I read that part again, that when a wrong wants righting, or a work wants doing, or a truth wants preaching, or a continent wants opening, God sends a baby into the world to do it. In other words, when the stock markets are crashing, the answer is already available. When World War II is happening, the answer is already available. It was sent even before World War II was thought about. You are an answer, and you are God's answer to something. Your child is God's answer to something. Every baby you see being born is an answer to something. The same thing can be said about ideas. That's why you should be faithful to every idea you have, as even if it's a weird idea, as weird as it might seem, as weird as it might feel to you. You need to be aware that it has its timing in the future. Its timing is coming. The babies of 1809 are much more potent than the battles of the day. By the time a battle is being fought, its baby was already born years before. But as that battle is being fought, another baby is being born. And so the world has promise. The universe has a lot of promise. And these promises are being orchestrated by the invisible hand of God. That every baby coming on the face of the earth, there is a plan for their lives. There is something that they were called and meant to do. And that's why they are being born. By the time they are being born, it's not the time that their plans are being made. Before they are born, the plans are already rolling in place. Remember, I've told you, God sees things months, years, decades, centuries ahead of time. and he goes behind the scenes to start orchestrating the birth of a baby, a boy or a girl, in order that this baby can rise up to the occasion and solve a problem, or open a continent, or preach a word, or create something, whatever it is. God planned for it to happen. That should tell you that you are not an accident. Your child is not an accident. No human being is an accident. Every human being you see is an answer to something that was envisaged even before they were born. And they have been sent here on the face of the earth to do exactly that mission. And that's why every moment we are awake, ourselves and our babies, we need to be conscious of that fact that we are not necessarily existing to pay bills and to expire, existing to go to schools and earn degrees, existing to get married and to have kids and to build houses and to go for vacations, and that's just about it. There's got to be a place where we come and stop all the traffic and we consider the reason as to why we were sent on the face of the earth. I believe every human being has an answer to that particular question. Can you believe that you have been preordained? Miles Monroe normally says that I'm not for pro-choice or pro-life. I am pre-choice, pre-life. As in, before I was even born, before I was even conceived, there was an idea and a mission that I was supposed to fulfill. Can you believe that? I invite you to stop all the traffic around you and think about your baby from that perspective. Think about your boy in your house, your girl in your house, or yourself. Hey, wait a minute. The creator of the universe meant for me to do stuff. And that's why I'm alive. And that's why I'm here. Take a look at the babies in your vicinity. Even the teenagers in your vicinity. I know they're messing up around and so on. Even yourself. Take a look at yourself. Probably in your very own house, or even in your own compound. These babies, ladies and gentlemen, could be the very answers to life in the days to come, or even today. You have no clue what that child represents right now. You have no idea what hope they represent. You have no idea what calling is upon their lives, but it is there. It is there, as sure as the sun is out there today. It is there. They are an answer to something. They are not arbitrary. They are not by the way. They are not just things that we should be oblivious of. Not normal. They are an answer to something on the face of the earth. See, there are countless nations on the earth that are reeling in economic burdens, socio-political problems, fear, and so on. And all the while that these things are going on, people in those countries are ignoring babies, are ignoring children, and yet these guys are the very answers to life. God sends answers to life in the form of children. And that is my introduction episode to this series that I want us to do. And we're going to continue speaking about these aspects of life. What should we do if the greatest weapons that God uses to change the universe and to transform lives is babies? What should be our outlook in life? Stay tuned for more episodes. For now, bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University. found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.